Opening week of baseball on Root Sports is presented by McDonald's new Premium McWrap. And welcome to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Game 2 of the journey that spans 6 months and 162 games. Rockies and Milwaukee Brewers. Rockies fell in 10 innings yesterday, 5-4. Hello again, welcome upstairs. Glad you're along as always with George Frazier. I'm Drew Goodman. Very good performance yesterday from Chacin, who started. And today the Rockies will hand the baseball to a left-hander who they have high expectations for, Jorge De La Rosa. He's a 16-game winner from a few years ago, the last time the Rockies were in the postseason. We've talked all about the Tommy John surgery. The good news is this spring he was very, very good.
He was good, and when healthy, he felt really good. He threw the ball well. Velocity peaked back up again. The breaking ball was there. Actually started throwing some sliders again, which is one step getting over that. Now, he's had difficult times here at Miller Park where he has not pitched very well, but overall in his career, he's been very, very good. And I think the one thing that De La Rosa needs going into this ball game, because of the struggles at the end of the year last year, have a very good, quick first inning and get through that first inning and kind of take that deep breath, sit down in a dugout and realize, doesn't hurt, feels good, 3 up, 3 down, let's get after it, boys. And I think if he can do that early in this game, it's only going to give him more confidence going into this ball game.
Well, a guy that they want to tag team maybe a little bit early on, a veteran guy who has presence behind the plate, is Yorvi Torrealba. And as we check in with Jeff Houston, Yorvi's going to be back there handling him this afternoon or this evening.
Well, that's right, Drew. And you look at this because of the experience that Torrealba has, and he's worked with a lot of different guys in his career. And I think this is a great matchup. Now, Walt Weiss was quick to praise Willeen Rosario and the job he did yesterday. But to George's point, go out there in this first inning, and if there's any sort of trouble, you know that Yorvi can go out there, talk to him, settle him down, because he's been in this situation numerous times. I think it's a great pairing of these two.
I think it will be as well. So Torrealba will catch De La Rosa. When we come back, we'll talk about the Rockies' offense. The 1-2 punch all went deep yesterday.
His 7 seasons. In fact, when you take a look at his RBIs since 2010, he's also helped out his teammate Carlos Gonzalez. When you look at those numbers, 57% of his RBIs, he's either knocking in himself or Cargo. And yesterday, we actually witnessed something very special here at Miller Park. Cargo and Tulo having a home run in the same game. That's only happened now 14 times. Drew?
Root Sports.
Miller Park in Milwaukee. Once again, it's beautiful outside, but frigid. Temperature in the low 30s. The roof will be closed once again. And we're a few minutes away from first pitch. Back upstairs again with George Frazier. I'm Drew Goodman. The Rockies offense really clicked yesterday. You'd like to produce more runs with the number of hits they had. At the top of the order, Dexter Fowler was sensational, and he had a huge at-bat in the ninth inning against John Axford.
Just carryover from spring trainings, what it amounted to. They thought they could throw the fastball by Dexter in the ninth. It didn't happen, a home run, which he said, hey, look dead red, I got it, and I took advantage of it. I thought he swung and attacked the ball extremely well. And again, Dexter with the big hit in order to send this thing into extra innings. And again, you're talking about Axford throwing a ball 94 to 97 miles an hour and closing out the last 15 games in a row for the Brewers to almost get them in contention. So it was a big-time closer, but a big-time moment for Dexter.
Speaking of big time, the two guys in the middle of the lineup, Cargo and Tulo, they were pretty good yesterday as well. For more on their story, we check in with Jenny Kavnar. Jenny.
Well, Drew, when you come to Milwaukee, you have to experience the tradition of tailgating that Brewers fans have out here in the parking lot. And speaking of tradition, I think Troy Tulowitzki's trying to start a new one. That's hitting a home run on opening day. He's done it 3 of his 7 seasons. In fact, when you take a look at his RBIs since 2010, he's also helped out his teammate Carlos Gonzalez. When you look at those numbers, 57% of his RBIs, he's either knocking it himself or Cargo. And yesterday, we actually witnessed something very special here at Miller Park. Cargo and Tulo having a home run in the same game. That's only happened now 14 times. Drew?
That's a good thing when they hit home runs together, and hopefully it will result in a victory. Rockies look to bounce back after the 5-4 loss yesterday. Game 2 for Milwaukee is next. Come on back to Miller Park with us. On Root Sports is brought to you by your 7 neighborhood Toyota stores. Toyota, let's go places. And by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. So Dexter Fowler will step in against Marco Estrada. And the first pitch from Estrada is in there for a strike. Estrada is a guy that will work backwards from time to time because he is blessed with an outstanding changeup.
A strikeout per inning in his career. 262 in the third, 263 strikeouts, 73 walks.
It's going to be a tough play, no play for Ricky Weeks. And an infield hit for Dexter, so he's off to a 4-for-6 start on the season. Then he can hit it over the wall, and if he hits it 65 feet, he can reach as well. Now again, we apologize. Evidently, we were having some technical issues, as they say, once again from Milwaukee. Josh Rutledge will step in with Dexter at first base against the right-hander Marco Estrada.
Fowler with a soft roller over the top of the mound. Estrada hesitated to go back to try to get the ball. Only chance to get Fowler.
Rutledge yesterday was 1 for 5. He had a single to left. Dexter gets checked out. One of the areas we talked about it quite a bit last year that he looks to improve upon is in the stolen base department. Dexter had a terrific year. He hit over 300 career highs in every category, but stolen bases, very modest numbers, 12 for 17. And that's in there for a strike. Larry Vanover is calling balls and strikes tonight. Veteran umpire. There's Larry. Wally Bell's at third. Manny Gonzalez at second base, and Tony Randazzo's at first base. That's a called strike at 89 on the outside corner, 1-2.
He'll throw a cutter. He'll throw the fastball. You can see on the Ford strike zone, 89 miles an hour, just off the plate, but called a strike. Fastball 88-92. The slider will run in a varied speed of 78 to 82. Throw it typically at 80. He will utilize the changeup, a 5-pitch mix from Estrada.
The emergency hack to keep the AB alive.
Last year at Miller Park, Estrada 3-2, 2.97 ERA. The Rockies line up tonight facing Estrada, a combined 1 for 18 in the career start here.
And again, Dex draws a throw.
.23 starts a year ago. Did start the season when Narveson was injured. He was put into the starting rotation, started in the bullpen. Very good numbers, 143 strikeouts. The big thing that jumps to me is the 29 walks and 138 in the third innings.
He doesn't walk people. Look at the strikeouts, George. Better than a strikeout an inning.
And I think too, here at Miller Park last year, or even in his career, I should say, 11 walks. Put the ball in play, particularly on the ground. That's where he'll work to.
This ball is hit well to left field. Braun going back, and on the warning track will make the catch. Dexter went back to tag up. Braun got it very quickly to Gene Segura. So a long out off the bat of Rutledge. 1 out, 1 on. Let's take a look at the Southwest batting order for the Rockies. Cargo will bat third, Tulowitzki fourth. It's the same lineup at the top to what you saw yesterday. Kadire and Helton. Then Chris Nelson slides up a spot, and Yorvi Torrealba doing the catching will bat eighth in front of De La Rosa. Cargo, a good start to his season. A home run and a single yesterday. Scored a couple of runs. He came around on the home run by Tulowitzki in the third inning. And this is fouled back in our neighborhood. Jeff Hewson down field level. And Jeff, I said this during the open. We are all fortunate you especially, since you're out in the elements, that the roof is closed.
Yeah, but I'll tell you this much. You see guys out here with sleeves on because it's about 10 degrees cooler down here on the field than it was up in the press box earlier. And that's something that you don't see very often in a dome, but they really don't heat this. So you'll see guys blowing on their hands during the course of the game. There's not a whole lot of wind, obviously, but it is more chilly down here than what you guys are experiencing up there.
You know, I forget who it was in the clubhouse after the game last night. Somebody mentioned that it was still pretty cool. 1-2. Went back and showed fastball. George thinks that's a setup for the changeup again?
I do. I was just looking at positioning defensively of where Weeks is. Playing over to pull on the hole, which off-speed pitch trying to get him to roll over it. They're going to go fastball away. Typically with Estrada on a fastball away, not a lot of sink, but it will tail and run away from the hitter.
He almost made a mistake there.
Eliminate a hitter's power, and that's difficult to do with Gonzalez. But if you run a ball that far off the plate running and he swings, typically going to be difficult to get on the sweet part of the bat. But with Gonzalez, so much power to the opposite field also with Tulowitzki waiting on deck.
Yeah, he's got long reach. We've seen him hit balls out on pitches off the plate. Remember that ball he hit out to dead center in Pittsburgh last year? George, ball 6 inches off the plate.
Way away, but such a nice long swing that his plate coverage extends beyond the outside corner.
Deck's a leadoff infield single. There's one out. He's going, and it's fouled off in the neighborhood of George Frazier, who knocked down Doug Marino.
I'm bailing.
Almost literally.
How you doing, Dougie? Give it up. Got to pay attention, Doug. Don't just sit over there.
Come on, man.
I'm out of here. I had my fun catching those. I don't want to do it anymore.
Let me explain. I know when you pitch, you let everybody else catch it. Up here, you got to make the catch.
I don't either. Trust me. That's why they got that wall behind me. Doug wasn't paying attention either.
And he strikes him out with the changeup away. 2 outs. Pretty good sequence from Marco Estrada. Today's defense is brought to you by Excel Energy. We bring you the energy you need so that you can live the life you want. Visit responsiblebynature.com today to learn more. Braun, Gomez, and Oki in the outfield. Ramirez, Segura, Ricky Weeks, Alex Gonzalez, the converted shortstop at first base, and Jonathan Lucroy again doing the catching. Tulo a couple of hits, including a 2-run bullet of a home run to right center yesterday, and he hits a bullet to deep center, and Gomez will go back and make the catch. So a couple of loud outs and a man left in the first. No score as we go to the bottom half of inning number 1. Ball on Root Sports is brought to you by your 7 neighborhood Toyota stores. Toyota, let's go places. And by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. We go to the bottom of the first inning. And Jorge De La Rosa, who spent 3 years early in his career in the Milwaukee organization, will face the Brewers lineup. Again, the Brewers won 5-4 in 10 innings yesterday. Nori Aoki in his second year in the big leagues after a very fine career over in Japan will lead things off. Ricky Weeks will bat second. He scored the game-winning run yesterday. Ryan Braun third, Aramis Ramirez fourth. Jonathan Lucroy did not have a hit yesterday, but he had the sac fly to center field in the 10th. Alex Gonzalez, Carlos Gomez, Gene Segura, and Marco Estrada. De La Rosa just wiped those numbers out, George. That was after he came back in September, and he was just very, very tentative, and he got on a big league mound. That was the good news and nothing else.
And the bad news was he didn't pitch well there, and I think it made him aware because he came to spring training in great shape. That maybe it wasn't just about throwing a baseball. The long ball, 5 and 10 and 2/3 innings. De La Rosa 50 and 48 overall with an earned run average of 4.92 in 129 career starts. For whatever reason, some pitchers have difficult times against their former ball club, and he has struggled in this against the Brewers. 1 and 5, 8 starts, 926. And you look around and see what the numbers overall at Miller Park, not very good, 794.
Ball and a strike on Aoki. Still on the grass at third is Nelson. He's a guy that'll bunt, and he also slaps. This is to deep left center field, and Cargo makes another terrific catch. He robbed Aoki yesterday in similar fashion.
You're starting to get a read that this young man may have a little more power than you think he does. You're shallow and think you're going to slap away from it. Great job by Cargo. Good jump by Cargo. Only way he caught that ball on the move, on the swing.
Today's defense brought to you by Excel Energy. We bring you the energy you need so that you can live the life you want. Visit responsiblebynature.com today to learn more. Cargo, Dexter, and Michael Kadire in the outfield. Chris Nelson, Troy Tulowitzki left side. Josh Rutledge, Todd Hilton, and Yorvi Torrealba doing the catching. Ricky Weeks at the plate, and he takes strike one. Weeks in his career 4 for 7 against De La Rosa with 3 doubles. And the guy on deck, Ryan Braun, not that he has bad numbers against anybody, but they're off the chart against De La Rosa. The way this lineup's constructed, and they're missing Corey Hart right now, they feast on left-handed pitching.
Well, they're stacked up. Only one lefty in the whole lineup. All the power comes off that right side. It's been that way for a while.
Two balls and a strike. Thought you made a wonderful point, George, at the top of the broadcast. Yeah, obviously, you always want to get off to a nice start, have a quick and efficient first inning, but profound importance for De La Rosa. That's a good-looking changeup, and it's 2-2. He completely, Jeff, locked up Ricky Weeks.
He did, Drew, and the other point I was going to make, being down here on field level, we talk about downhill playing, and he's getting that early in this game. The first 5 or 7 pitches that he's thrown, you can see it going down, and it's not coming in flat into the zone.
Torrealba gets to the one knee and gives you a comforting target, low to the ground, and expects you to get it there. That fastball was low. It's just Weeks didn't offer.
Reminds me of Tony Pena when he used to get way down low like that.
Confidence, 3-2.
Throw the changeup. Weeks didn't offer it, and he'll go to first with Braun approaching. I mentioned that Braun has great numbers against De La Rosa. How about 7 for 9, including a home run and 3 doubles. He's also walked 3 times against De La Rosa. You know, there's some guys you just see really well, and evidently Ryan Braun sees De La Rosa well. Asked Ryan Braun today around the batting cage what he thought of Jolie Chassin's stuff yesterday. Asked Carlos Gomez the same thing, and they were both really impressed. Pounded the zone, good movement on not only the two-seam fastball, very good changeup. That's a strike, 1-1.
Well, that has to give him confidence too, knowing when other guys are saying that after the spring he had to come out in the first ball game, first opening day start that you get, and you go out and perform like he did. That's a big confidence booster for Jolie.
And the 1-1 sliced into the second deck. 1-2. Rockies fans, this season we want to answer your questions on air during Toyota Talk. Text Toyota followed by your question to 720-720 and watch as questions are answered during the 5th inning of every ball game. First-time texters, automatic winners, will receive one free day pass to Denver Zoo, the Denver Zoo, courtesy of your neighborhood Toyota stores, who invite you to visit the amazing animals at the Toyota Elephant Passage. 1-2 on Braun. Tried to paint with a 91-mile-an-hour fastball, and it's off the dish. 2-2.
Try to eliminate the power, much like they even did with Carlos Gonzalez. And it's off the plate, but not by much.
Ricky Weeks had a big stolen base in the 10th inning yesterday. The Rockies after that were forced to, with Adam Ottavino, to walk Ryan Braun. The problem was with Ramirez behind him. He ended up losing Ramirez, bases loaded, 1 out, and then Lucroy with the sac fly. The scouting reports are constantly updated, Jeff Houston, as you know, and one of the things that Milwaukee understands going in, and they had Torrealba late last year. Torrealba doesn't throw nearly as well as Willeen Rosario.
No, and Ron Reinecke's an aggressive manager. He's not afraid to run in any situation. So even with 2 throwovers, they might go first movement.
This is fouled off down the right field line once again.
But I'll say this, Jorge, the 2 or 3 times that he has thrown home, he's used a very shallow leg kick, so it's almost like a slide step heading home.
And honestly, George, I don't remember him doing that in the past.
Well, it's something he's worked on to hold runners because of the long arm action in the back. He's so slow getting it delivered when he does have a higher leg kick, even though he's left-handed. He would commit so quickly to that it was easy to steal him.
Ground ball to short, could be 2. There's 1 on the first double play. Well done, well turned up the middle by Rutledge, with the 225-pound Weeks bearing down on him. Good start for Jorge De La Rosa. No score. will lead things off. Jorge De La Rosa and Marco Estrada. The Rockies won the season series last year against Milwaukee 5-1. They swept Milwaukee in Denver, won 2 of 3 here at Miller Park. Players overall were pleased with the game they played yesterday. Walt Weiss was pleased. You're going to play good ball games, George and Jeff, and lose, and that's basically what happened. There was a running error. You know, Chris Nelson running up the back of Willeen Rosario. There's a leadoff single for Kadire.
First hit in his career against Estrada, 0 for 6 with a strikeout. Well, there's a lot of things in that ball game you go back to look at. Also, you know, first and second, nobody out. Chassin does not get the bunt down to advance to second and third with 1 out. Then the base hit, the running mistake by Nelson. I mean, there is some mistakes in there, but overall, you get 12 hits and score 4 runs. You hit the long ball, you drive in runs. The pitching was very good overall till you got into the 8th inning with Wilton Lopez. He didn't do his job coming out of the bullpen.
And that offense was out on the road.
You know, and the other side of that, at home, Wilton Lopez, 2 soft rollers and then a big base hit by Ramirez. Ramirez, though, 5 for 7 with a home run in his career, and to make that 6 for 8 now against Wilton Lopez.
Todd yesterday was 0 for 3, snapping a 13-game opening day hitting streak. He did reach via a walk. A ball and a strike. Change up in the dirt. Who wants tacos? Remember, when the Rockies score 7 or more during any ball game, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the following day. Do it between 4 and 6. Get your Rockies taco special. Glad to have Taco Bell back with us for another year. And hopefully they'll be doing a lot of business between 4 and 6 in the afternoon. Larry Vanover said ball. 3-1.
Just off the plate, trained fairly well by LaCroix, but it was off. Good call by the umpire.
Kadire at first with his initial hit of 2013. And he takes off 3-1, and this is lifted down the left field line, and it's going to twist out of play.
That's just part of Walt's style. Start the runners 3-1, 3-2s.
Basically, they'll all go 3-1, 3-2. Huey, you've been in that situation unless they get a stop sign.
Right, I like it too, because it opens up even bigger holes. Because if he takes off, depending on where the pitch is, but more than likely it's going to be the shortstop that's going to cover, and Todd can shoot the ball to left field then.
Yeah, go back to Tulowitzki yesterday with the hit up the middle. Weeks was covering.
He goes again, 3-2, and Helton with his first base hit of the year, and Kadire will easily go first to third. And now the Rockies have something brewing against Milwaukee here in the second. First and third, nobody out. Chris Nelson coming up.
Well, vintage Todd Helton, sinking fastball, working away from him, go out and get the ball, take it right back up the middle, hit like a laser. Almost got Manny, the umpire, at second base. Manny Gonzalez has it shot into center field, and Kadire coast into third.
Very good first full season in the big leagues last year for Chris Nelson, a .301 average. Terrific final couple of months for Nelly. This is one of those situational at bats, Huey, you work so much on during batting practice.
Well, and the other thing too is you want to make sure that you don't get over anxious and you get to that changeup where you roll it over and get the double play. You're looking to hit something to the off gap into right center field, and then if he hangs it, then you pull it.
He gets a changeup, and it's 2-0.
Yeah, but the first round of batting practice, you lay down a couple bunts, you have a couple hit and runs, move the runners over, get them in from third base with the infield back and then the infield in, and that's pretty much your first round. And then you'll go to hitting opposite field, just maybe your second round of batting practice.
Yeah, he's in a fastball count here. 2-0.
I'm going to peek in a little bit and see what he does. He has so much confidence in every pitch that he throws. Fastball away now to Nelson.
Estrada won't overwhelm you with the radar gun. He's 88 to 91, as George talked about. But he hides the ball very well.
Hides the ball well. 5-pitch mix. Everything moves. And not afraid to throw any pitch in any situation.
Two-one, and that's a strike. 2-2.
Well, it's why you see a lot of hitters taking things. You go back to the last start that he had against these Colorado Rockies. 5 innings, 2 hits, 9 strikeouts in the ball game. And Rockies chased some pitches out of the zone, but he also utilized a lot of pitches. And here you got Nelson on a fastball down the middle for a strikeout.
That was close. Nelly's taken 2 fastballs, now 3 fastballs in a row, Jeff, and 2 were called a strike, and this one was just south of the knees.
Yeah, and I could see why he did on the 2-0. You don't want to try to hit that pitch away from you. Then he goes back and hits the same location for strike 2. Now you have to battle, and I'm surprised he was able to lay off that last one.
And a bouncing ball towards the hole. It's going to sneak through. RBI single, Chris Nelson. And the Rockies break on top 1-0. And that was the epitome of a battle swing, Jeff.
Yeah, you just try to foul it off if you can. And then if you do get something, make sure you put it in play. You don't want to have an empty at bat where you just walk back to the dugout without swinging and you don't give yourself a chance. But he just lays the barrel out there, ball pitch away from him, hits it in the hole between first and second. And those are the little at bats over the course of the season that add up to good things if you continually to do that. One of the worst things is to drag the bat back to the dugout with an empty 0 for 1.
Well, Dante Bichette had a great, and I mean great, 2-strike approach. And he has talked quite a bit throughout the spring with his position players about having a foolproof 2-strike approach.
Well, remember, Dante used to spread out. He choked up on the bat, and it was almost a no-stride type of approach where he would just say, okay, I'm going to wait till the last second and just use my good hands and just try to meet the ball.
One strike count on Yorvit, nobody out, 2 on. Helton's at second base. And Nelson with the RBI single at first. Now, Chris Iannetta, who had a big day for the Angels yesterday, George, has caught more games than anybody else in Rockies history. Chris drove in all 3 yesterday, including a home run. 3-1 victory for the Angels over the Reds. Then Yorvit with 292 games behind the plate. And the Yankee manager is next.
Isn't it nice to get up in the morning now and read the box scores in the paper?
It's awesome. see the highlights later on.
Yeah, I love it. We're talking about Iannetta's big night with a base hit to win the ball game. Kershaw's home run, 9-inning complete game. I mean, just crazy stuff.
He went Little League yesterday.
He went combination Sandy Koufax and the late Don Drysdale is what he did.
I was trying to think the last guy they talked about doing it, hitting the home run was, golly, Feller was the last guy to do it. Pitch a shutout, complete game, and hit a home run to do it.
Oh, Jason Jennings did. You mean on opening day?
On opening day.
Yeah.
On opening day.
2-2. And this is on the ground to Weeks. And he did not get the double play. Great play, Chris Nelson. You've been in that situation. You got to do everything you can not to make it easy that the infielder can tag you.
Right, but Chris stopped in enough time where Ricky Weeks had to go 3 or 4 strides before he could touch him and then make the throw. So Chris takes off. Now he knows I'm in no man's land. I got to stop. Lay down, do whatever you have to do, but you get Torrealba to first base and you stay out of the double play.
And Torrealba, who doesn't run well, ran hard. That was the key, too. He got out of the box and got going and got there and prevented the double play.
De La Rosa bunts it foul.
Now tickets going awfully quick for the Rockies Yankees game May 7th through the 9th. So get yours today and root on your team against the New York Yankees May 7th through the 9th. 303 Rockies or Rockies.com to get tickets for that series.
I want to bunt that one.
That's a pop-up waiting to happen. That's where pitchers are taught to throw the baseball. The guy squares around, throw it up high. But I like to use the rule of thumb that you set your bat at the top of the zone so you only working down after that.
He offered at it. It's 1-2. Jolie Chassin yesterday didn't get a bunt down, and you start looking, you mentioned, Huey, at the little things that maybe the Rockies didn't do well yesterday. Not getting the bunt down was one, and of course Chris Nelson on the base paths running into an out.
All in the same inning.
Yep. Focus on those when you lose a one-run affair. Dexter's on deck. He'll get one more chance at it. And the ball's foul, so De La Rosa fails to get the job done. 2 outs. Fowler will come up. He had an infield hit his first time. I always felt coming out of spring training, a lot of times guys were sharper bunting, doing some of the little things because they've been doing it every day throughout March.
See, I think pitchers, for me personally, should go in the cage off of live BP and bunt anyway. You know, they don't get enough bunting in on something that's moving and fairly hard. I know pitchers complain, why should I go in a cage and bunt off a machine at 90? Well, guess what? They don't throw it 65 in the game.
Right.
You know, go bunt. You know, and then put the curveball machine on, go bunt it.
1-0 on Fowler. Helton's at third, Torrealba at first. Not exactly the Jamaican 4x4 out there, Huey.
And not even the 4x2.
Yeah, or 4x1, or you got a couple of Mack trucks on base.
I'll just hit it over the wall then.
Way inside, 2-1. And I think, you know, you mentioned hitting it over the wall. Last year Dexter hit 13, and he could be one of those rare commodities at the top of a lineup that could hit 20 in a season. You got a middle of the order type guy leading off.
Impressive numbers a year ago. 2 outs, runners in scoring position, 298.
He turned on 95 plus from John Axford in the 9th inning yesterday to tie it.
And it got out in a hurry.
Just today in batting practice, both right-handed and left-handed, he was taking balls up into the second deck.
Yeah, he's got legit pop. And this is going to end the inning. Ramirez in foul territory makes the catch. Rockies got 3 straight singles to begin things. And the third, Chris Nelson, drove in the first run of the ball game. Aramis Ramirez will lead it off against Jorge De La Rosa. And it's time for our sideline report, brought to you by the Honey Smoked Fish Company. Secrets in the fire. It's ready to eat superfood. Jenny.
Hey, Drew, for tonight's starter, Jorge De La Rosa, it's a big week. He turns 32 on Friday, and he's hoping for the start of an injury-free season. It's all coming full circle because he's back in Milwaukee where he made his major league debut. But the road to get to where he is with the Colorado Rockies has been a very long journey. Originally selected by Arizona, he spent his first season actually in the Dominican Republic, and then he went through Arizona's farm system. He was eventually traded to Boston. Then he ended up in Milwaukee. That's where he made his major league debut after going through some of their farm systems. In mid-2006 season, he was traded to Kansas City and eventually ended up in Colorado in 2008. But, you know, for Walt Weiss today, it made a lot of sense to pair him up with a guy he was familiar with in Yorvi Torrealba. They obviously were battery mates back in 2009. In fact, Yorvi said he has seen moments of the 2009 De La Rosa this season, but he was really anxious today to see what real game time would bring for De La Rosa once that blood gets pumping and all the energy gets going out there. So far, so good through one. We'll see what he can do in the bottom of the second, guys.
That's a pretty good pitch right there, Jenny. Just a tad inside. 2 balls and a strike on Mr. Ramirez. De La Rosa 39 and 28 in a Rockies uniform, which is the best winning percentage for a Rockies pitcher ever, with at least 50 starts. And in 2009, he won 16 games. He started 0-6 that year. He won 16 games, all after June 1st.
Impressive numbers you're talking about, Drew. 25 and 11 at Coors Field.
2-2, and this is line down the line. This is very similar to the ball Ramirez hit yesterday that gave Milwaukee a 4-3 lead. So a leadoff double for Aramis Ramirez. Went down and got a slider.
Off-speed pitch yesterday that he hit off Wilton Lopez. Same result from De La Rosa, trying to get inside. He really cleared that front leg, allowed him to get the head of the bat to the ball early and keep it in fair territory.
Last year, 50 doubles for Ramirez. He's got 2 already. He's notorious for being a slow starter. He's off to a pretty quick start in the first 24 hours or so of the 2013 season. Jonathan Lucroy. He handles the bat, Jeff, pretty well.
Well, he can do a lot of things. He can lay down a bunt if you need him to. He'll hit the ball alley to alley. He has a little bit of pop. I wouldn't say he's a big-time home run guy for a catcher, but he's, in my estimation, he's right at the edge of the second-tier catchers.
I think that's fair. And yesterday, he got the game winner in the 10th inning. He got a slider. And he figured he was going to get, either some sort of two-seam fastball or maybe a slider down trying to induce the ground ball. And Adam Ottavino left it up.
Last year, second in the league with runners in scoring position with 2 outs. 389 average. Hit 400 last year against left-handers.
George, this is a spot. De La Rosa has always been a pretty big strikeout guy. This is a spot ahead 2 strikes where you'd love to get the punch out. No advancement with nobody out of Ramirez.
And I think that's that other 4 or 5 miles an hour that he used to have before surgery. 90-92 is different than 92-95, 96. That was a good pitch at 91.
I like coming inside when it's 0-2 with the runner at second. Hitters are thinking, I've got to wait, let the ball travel deep so I can hit the ball the right side. Now you have him set up. If you want to go hard slider down and in, you'll get that strikeout because he's still trying to stay inside the ball.
Tell you what, he's putting on a pretty good at bat here.
And then that was the pitch I was talking about. I mean, De La Rosa put it where he wanted to that back ankle.
Got him. That was dirty. Turned the slider over on him, or a changeup. It's hard to tell sometimes the way that ball moved. If it was the changeup or the slider, George.
Yeah, you look for grip out of the hand. I think that's the best way to try to get it. It appeared to be, for me, a slider that just backed up because of the velocity and the arm angle that he threw it.
Well, whatever, it worked. He got the punch out, and now it'll be Alex Gonzalez's turn. First strikeout here for De La Rosa. We're in the second inning, 1-0 Colorado. And Larry Vanover indicates a strike.
He's called that low strike here in the first 2 innings consistently.
A lot of umpires won't call the low strike like they did years ago in the National League. It was more of a National League umpire as a low ball guy, but on the forward strike zone you can just see it's kind of center and right where you like it as a pitcher's pitch.
And that's there also. Well, you live down there, Jeff, you're not going to get hurt frequently.
No, because those are balls that are tough to lift. To get any lift on it, try to hit it into a gap or out of the ballpark. When you go to swing at those, you have a tendency to collapse your legs to try to hit those, and that's when you get the easy ground balls.
Working ahead 0-2 on Carlos Gonzalez. Or excuse me, Alex Gonzalez with Carlos Gomez on deck. Slowly hit to third. Got to get that hop. Nelson does.
How about that, though? Chris Nelson comes in, feels that slow roller, still has the wherewithal to look to second base before he made the throw to first.
Well done.
Because he knew who was running. He knew Gonzalez does not have the wheels that he wants to. Now watch Chris field this, look to second, chase the runner back, and then throw to first. And that's just smart baseball.
2 outs. And Ramirez still standing at second after the leadoff double. Carlos Gomez. Gomez 0 for 4 yesterday. Last year, he really hurt the Rockies, 7 for 17, including a home run. He went off speed, and Gomez really wrenched his back. He's out front. No swing, 1-1. Have auto glass damage? Call Safelite Auto Glass, America's vehicle glass experts. 303-287-5000 or go to safelite.com. Off the end of the bat, it's 1-2. It's been impressive too, George, after the leadoff double by Ramirez. He has worked ahead of Lucroy, Gonzalez, and now Gomez.
Attacking the strike zone, trusting your stuff, and I think a lot of that's Torrealba behind home plate.
That first set of signals, George. Good block.
Well, as a runner, you got to disguise which one is it. Is it the touches or is it the fingers? Because a lot of times the touches are signs of what pitch you want and where you want it. Then you disguise the rest with just signals between your legs that are meaningless. So as a catcher, you watch, see the double touch everywhere on different things. Now you give the signs, and it's could end up being meaningless, may not. One of the two is part of it. Sometimes it's location with touches, first touch, and then the fingers go into the signs of where you want the pitches. To me, it's all too confusing. Just put a finger down and point where you want it to go.
2-2. Fastball lined, and it is a fair ball. Gomez ties up the baseball game with a 2-out double, and Aramis Ramirez scores.
Well, you know he's got some pop in the bat. You know he can turn on some things, but this fastball was pretty much where Torrealba wanted it from the looks of things, and it just stays foul. Excuse me, fair. Yeah, it was fair. He's still in second, right?
Yes.
That's the new rule?
That's the new rule. Gene Segura. Segura had a couple of hits yesterday. First time on an opening day roster for the young shortstop. Career .313 hitter in the minor leagues.
And this is one of those early decisions in a ball game. Do you walk him to get to the pitcher?
I'm not a big fan of that, Jeff, early on. It just, you're just saying, all right, we're going to flip the lineup.
Well, I understand that, but I'm saying Segura, a couple hits yesterday. He was a career .300 hitter in the minor league. You have the pitcher coming up after this. I want to try to maybe limit my damage. I know it flips the lineup. They start at the top of the order. But you also kind of give Jorge a chance to get out of this inning with just giving up just one run.
Understood. The way I look at it, George, chime in here, is that it gives you the luxury with first base open and the pitcher on deck of working him the way you want to work him. And if you lose him, you lose him.
And as a manager, sometimes when it gets to this 2-0, and this Segura was, even though he's a young player, he's a very accomplished player at the minor league level, did well in every aspect they've thrown him into, from Arizona Fall League to All-Star games to the WBC. So I think that part of it, you get into a danger zone of 2-0 and making another mistake, I'd take the choices out and go ahead and put him on base. I mean, it appears with these 3 pitches, not really wanting to pitch to him anyway.
Yeah, George, I'm the belief, though, it's just kind of take it out of the pitcher's hands, unless it's a veteran guy, maybe a Maddox or somebody like that. But just say, okay, just put him on. Don't necessarily pitch around him, because that's when you make the mistake, because you start pitching defensively.
Segura to first, and Marco Estrada will come up. Ball cuts inside at 92. It's 1-0. Now the number of pitches here in the inning start to tally up. It's overall 38 pitches, 39 pitches now.
And a bunch of that's all occurred in this inning. 24 total in this inning.
Marco Estrada is from Mexico originally. So he spent a good part of his adolescence in California. After going to junior college, attended Long Beach State, the alma mater, of course, of Troy Tulowitzki. Here's the 1-2. Right side, beware.
Borrow a glove if you have to. That's when he used to yell from the dugout, take the donut off.
De La Rosa a little frustrated too. He's trying to dismiss him, and Estrada, though swinging late, is fouling pitches off. De La Rosa looking to have a full season for the first time since 2009, where he had that finger injury in 2010, limited him to 20 starts outside. 8-7 that year. You look at De La's numbers throughout his career, he's always given up fewer hits than innings pitched, especially when you consider Coors Field. That is one way to measure what kind of stuff a pitcher has. Been any question about his stuff? Here's the 2-2, and again it's fouled off. Wells Fargo customers, get your 2-for-1 Rockies club level tickets today by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Wells Fargo Bank, member FDIC.
So many different foul balls, particularly by this pitcher, has really driven up the pitch count this inning. Mentioned 24. It's at 30 now here in the second inning. It's not over.
Drive, base hit. Kadire on one hop. Green light. Throw is cut off by Help, and that is going to score Carlos Gomez, who runs really well, as does Segura. So Estrada makes the whole strategy backfire with a lengthy at bat and an RBI single to right. 2-1 Milwaukee.
Estrada, a 132 lifetime hitter coming into the ball game, fouled off numerous pitches and just slapped at a fastball. Kadire shading that way and in. made the throw in, but I'm not sure they would have had him anyway.
Todd went to the bag thinking that Kadire might try to throw him out at first base.
And a strike on Aoki, who lined to deep left field his first time up. A great running catch by Carlos Gonzalez, running and leaping in the same motion. Dexter is shaded way over toward left center. Two to 1 Milwaukee lead, despite the fact that the Rockies have more hits, 4-3. That was the story yesterday. Rockies had far more hits in the ball game, and of course we're in the very early stages tonight. And this is on the ground to short. Tulo has to get rid of it quickly. Going the long way, he gets Aoki. In the inning, a couple of doubles, and then the single by Estrada produced 2 runs for the Brewers. Dante Bichette, a walk-off single to win the game, which also produced a cycle. Came from the Milwaukee Brewers to Colorado in the expansion draft.
Remember for who? Kevin Reimer.
Kevin Reimer, left-handed hitter with pop. I remember Kevin Reimer now that you mentioned that.
Dante, 3 years in AAA with the Angels before he got his shot over here with the Brewers.
Dante Bichette, here's his resume, 14 years in the big leagues. Hit .299 in his career, just shy of 300 home runs, drove in more than 1,100. An All-Star on 4 occasions, Silver Slugger Award in '95. He had a tremendous career, and he can still hit. Every once in a while, he'll sneak in that batting cage. In fact, some of the players were pushing him to do it this year, and so he went out there and hit a few over the wall and then flipped the bat and got back behind the screen.
It's always funny when Dante or Vinny get in the cage, because they can still hit, as you mentioned, but see the reaction of the other guys.
That season Drew's talking about, second in the MVP voting to Barry Larkin.
2-0 on Rutledge. He hit it to deep left his first time, and now 3-0. at this comparison. It's pretty interesting. Troy Tulowitzki, we know what kind of damage he's done in his career, and Rutledge off to a faster start through a little less than 300 ABs. 3-1. And before he hurt his quad last year, I mean, he was on pace, and it slowed him down. It hurt him at the plate. It certainly hurt him running. He was on pace to have an extraordinary second half.
Came all the way back, all fastballs all the way, down one down, and then the last a little bit elevated. Josh, a pretty good high ball hitter. Trouble is, you get a ball away from you that's up. It's a little bit above the belt line, and you try to pull that ball, you're going to pull off and away from it, and the results typically you're grabbing some pine.
Cargo struck out his first time against Estrada. Here's his home run from yesterday. What a beautiful swing he has. And when he hits them, there's little doubt.
Off-speed stuffs for the strikeout in his first at bat, particularly away. Start him off with an off-speed pitch at 77. And a swing to even the count 1-1.
Came back heater. And it's 1-2.
Kid can pitch a little bit.
Strike three.
Off-speed pitch in that first at bat, Jeff, and I think that time maybe in that situation he thought he'd go back to it.
Yeah, those are the mind games you play as a hitter. You try to think along with the pitcher. Sometimes you're right, other times you're wrong, and that time Carlos was wrong.
And you look at the Ford strike zone. I mean, he dotted the bottom line of that Ford strike zone 3 times. So you'll tip your cap, go back to the dugout. You try
Get
to
him
do
next
damage.
time.
Yeah, the next time. You know, he's a huge fan of his, and I don't mean just because he's teammates. He's faced him during March, you know, whether it be inter squad games or just standing in the cage against him, and that's Ryan Braun. Braun, for a couple of years, has felt like Estrada's got just dirty stuff, and he's finally situated in the middle of that rotation. I mean, he's pitching on the second day of the season, where last year he's kind of a swing guy. The only reason he made the club a few years ago is when Greinke broke his ribs.
Playing basketball.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care how you get the opportunity,
No.
but now he's opened Ron Renicke's eyes, Rick Kranitz's eyes. This guy can pitch. 2-0. And Tulo hits it high and deep left center field. Take a good look. You won't see it for long. Troy Tulowitzki's second home run in as many days, and it's a 2-2 affair. The hitters love 2-0, 3-1 counts. Troy got a fastball count, and he got a fastball to handle up.
Oh boy, right down the middle. Bell tie can get all the extension you want. Doug Marino and I were talking earlier. Estrada, a Long Beach State guy, and Tulowitzki the same. You wonder how much time they spent against each other, maybe in batting practice, inter squad in the fall. Pretty good shot of it there. Tulo got it.
One of the joys of being down here at field levels to hear that sound of the bat squarely on the ball on a home run, and that was a loud sound down here.
Troy Tulowitzki's wearing out the Brewers. Came in with a 4.02 average career-wise against Milwaukee. Nobody in baseball with any significant amount of at-bats has hit for a better average than Tulowitzki against the Brew Crew. 0-2, fouled off.
Well, the nice thing about it, Drew, is that typically the slow starts that Troy gets off to. And now already 2 home runs, 3 RBIs on the season. I know it's just the second game, but it's good to see.
And that's going to get through the middle of the diamond. Another base hit for Kadire, who was 0 for 5 yesterday, 2 for 2 this evening.
That was a broken bat single.
Was that off the very end of the bat?
I don't think off the very end, but it was close to that because of the spin on the baseball. The ball looked like it was going to short, made a right turn, went into center field.
Yep. Pops this up, foul ground. Ramirez will have a play, and that's the end of the inning. Middle of 3, the Rockies 2 and the Brewers 2. Tulowitzki ties it up with his second home run of the year. Well, as we told you a couple of times last year, one of Michael Kadire's hobbies is taking photographs inside and outside ballparks that he plays in. Some of his shots here at beautiful Miller Park. This is one of my favorite venues. This is a great ballpark. Players really appreciate Miller Park as well because of the proximity of the clubhouse to the dugout. It is the closest in all of baseball, literally tucked right behind the dugout. You may say, well, isn't that the case everywhere else? Usually you got to walk up, again, this is hard work, but you know, walk up a flight of stairs and it's set back a little bit. But not at Miller Park. It's literally, you can see where Tommy Runnels, Walt Weiss are. There's a door a few feet away. There's a base hit. And that door enters right into the clubhouse. So if, you know, if a player forgets something in a locker, as opposed to a 5-minute round trip, it's about a 20-second round trip. Leadoff single for Ricky Weeks. Here comes Ryan Braun.
I thought you were going to say they like playing at Miller Park because it beats County Stadium.
Oh, I love County Stadium. Come on.
Oh, you didn't play a full year there, though, did you, George?
No, but I was in
Okay.
there. Well, that's all right. I understand. Hey, but it beat playing in Louisville.
Right? Yeah, you got that right. You definitely.
I did play Cleveland. Don't forget that.
Oh, yes.
Very similar type ballpark.
Very much so.
Except Cleveland, never mind. We won't even
Let's
talk about
stop.
it. I'm not going to bore the fans with that.
Deep right field, and this one's gone. Ryan Braun with his first of the year, a 2-run shot for the 2 Milwaukee. And Bernie Brewer gets a ride down the slide. Well, Braun's now 8 for 11 lifetime, with 2 home runs and 9 RBIs against De La Rosa. Not an awful pitch.
No, but a very good hitter. It goes back to that old theory, Jeff. They practice too. You know, you make a good pitch, and sometimes you don't get the result that you normally get, and great hitters can hit great pitches and hurt you.
You don't put up the numbers like Braun does without being one of those guys.
203rd career home run for Ryan Braun. He's 5th on the all-time Brewer list. When he's done, he'll be far out in front of everybody. Still in the first half of his career, one would figure.
That home run off the bat looked like it was from a left-handed pole hitter. That's how much power he has.
Ramirez doubled last inning and would score with 2 outs on a double by Gomez. De La Rosa strikes out Ramirez. Second punch out of the ball game for De La Rosa. First out here in the 3rd inning. 4-2 Milwaukee. Jonathan Lucroy coming up. AT&T trivia question on a Tuesday night in Milwaukee. 6 teams have a new manager this season. How many of the managers can you name? Curveball's low. Chris Nelson with that strong arm throws out Lucroy. Alex Gonzalez grounded to Nelson his first time. Line drive toward Kadire. And there's the 3rd out. Single by Weeks. Opposite field home run, Ryan Braun. He had 41 last year. That was his first of 2013.
Looking to get some more offense on the board. Somebody that has confidence in that offense this season is their new hitting coach in Dante Bichette. He's familiar with the Brewers because he played for the organization in the early 90s before coming over to Colorado in the expansion draft. But there is no place he would rather begin his coaching career in the major leagues than in a Colorado Rockies uniform.
It's really neat. I mean, I felt like this is where I belong, you know. It's like riding a bike in this organization with me. I felt real comfortable coming back in here. I understand, you know, how important it is for them to perform well and win for our fans. And it's really neat with the team we got this year because it has a chance to be that powerful team again, you know, and a lot of young, powerful players, and we're excited.
Well, if anyone knows power, is absolutely Bichette. When he played 7 seasons in Colorado, his batting average with the franchise was .315. He knows what it takes to be a good hitter, and he's instilled nothing but confidence in every single one of his hitters. And there's such a positive attitude around hitting this year and what Bichette's been able to do. And I love the story how you guys mentioned he even likes to get in the cage and hack around a little bit, right?
Well, one of my favorite stories about him, Jenny, I've told some of the players, and they couldn't believe it. Dante, on his final swing of batting practice when he was a player, would always take one swing with the top hand. He'd remove the bottom hand, and every third day he would hit the ball out of the ballpark. How about that, Huey?
With one hand.
With one hand.
Takes a little strength to do that.
Yeah. He's an upbeat guy, and he's got such a warm personality. The players have really, as Jenny was explaining, gravitated toward him.
Well, a very positive influence and respect every day he comes to the yard. It's about, let's do something good today and have fun doing it. He doesn't let it get beat down on you much.
Leadoff single, Chris Nelson. Rockies trailing 4-2. We're in the top of the 4th inning. Drew Goodman, George Frazier, Jeff Houston, Jenny Cavnar. Torey Alba bounced into a force out his first time, actually a fielder's choice. Nelson dove to the ground on a ground ball to second, was tagged by Weeks, but because of his efforts he couldn't turn the double play. And the Rockies made the miraculous run in 07 and played such great baseball final 4 months of 2009, especially late. Yorvik Torrealba was behind the plate. Center field, Carlos Gomez waiting. De La Rosa will have another opportunity to bunt here. One native of Mexico throwing to another native of Mexico, and it's fouled off.
Get the bat out there early, get your angle set to bunt to first base for a left-handed hitter, point the barrel towards the third baseman, and now create the angle because you want to bunt it towards first. Get it out there. See, when it's coming in, instead of keeping the bat out there, he's trying to pull it back at the same time. And when you pull it back, then you'll get the pop-ups where the ball will be fouled off. Also, the bat's not tracking to your eyes. From this angle, see how the bat moved 4 to 6 inches behind the eyes when they're trying to look out in front.
Take the bunt off, so maybe you may be better off swinging. So an empty at bat for De La Rosa, and after the leadoff hit, Nelson still stuck at first base, 2 gone, and here comes Dexter Fowler for the 3rd time. Rockies have had the leadoff hitter on in 7 of 14 innings. That's outstanding. They haven't been able to manufacture as many runs as you'd hope. They hit 4 home runs already. 2 by Tulowitzki, 1 by the guy at the plate, 1 by Carlos Gonzalez. Estrada continues to change speeds very well. Estrada, originally a 6th round pick in 2005 by Washington out of Long Beach State.
Wear purple every Monday home game, and you can win some prizes. Buy a Purple Monday ticket package to make sure you don't miss one. Purple Mondays at the ballpark, Rockies.com/20.
Sneak attack here and send Nelson 1-2 count, 2 outs.
Why not?
Two former guys. You got nothing to lose. You have nothing to lose here other than to get him into scoring position. You still have Dexter to lead off the next inning. You got a lot to gain here. I mean, nothing to lose.
Yeah, you got a bad count at the plate, an upside down count. I'll be surprised if he doesn't go.
I was a little surprised he didn't go earlier, to be honest with you.
Where Gonzalez is playing, it's an easy read.
He's not going, and it's swung on and missed. 4-2 Milwaukee, middle of 4 at Miller Park. One of the longest home runs in the history of baseball, provided by the Big Cat. Carlos Gomez hits the ball to center field. Dexter Fowler's got it. 1 pitch, 1 out. Let's answer our AT&T trivia question. Looking for the 6 new managers in Major League Baseball this year. Well, you know one of them, Walt Weiss in the Rockies dugout. John Farrell moves from Toronto to Boston. John Gibbons takes over in Toronto. Terry Francona, after a year off, is in Cleveland. Mike Redmond, the former catcher, takes over for the Marlins, and Bo Porter is leading the Houston Astros in their very young team. Saw a line a short while ago. Yu Darvish, through 4 innings, is not allowed a hit against the Astros tonight and has struck out 9. That's a special talent, Yu
Yes,
Darvish.
it is.
Gene Segura at the plate, 2-0.
Remember last year during spring training when Texas came over and played the Rockies, and he punched out, what was it, the first 6 guys or something like that? And talking to the players the next day, they said, man, this guy's almost unhittable.
You know, we weren't televising that game. That's fouled off. And you and I were sitting behind home plate, and that, you know, even 30, 40 feet behind the catcher, you're looking at that stuff and you're saying, that's different.
Yeah, something happens with that wall and that netting when people sit on the other side. They look at it and, oh, yeah, I could do that. But when you're 30 or 40 feet away and you still say, nah, I can't do that, you know he has good stuff.
Yep. Kadir will run in the gap and make the catch. 2 outs. Tune in this Friday after the game for the debut of Rockies Real Time. Go beyond the soundbite and spend real time with players in their everyday lives. This week, follow Rockies infielder Jordan Pacheco as he trains for the season with a bunch of buddies in his old stomping grounds in Albuquerque. Rockies Real Time Friday after the game right here on Root Sports. Marco Estrada takes ball 1. Estrada punched a single to right in the 2nd inning to score a run. 2 balls and a strike. Estrada has 6 strikeouts in 4 innings tonight. He's done a lot of that. When he's given the opportunity, he strikes out more than a hitter per inning with that good changeup of his. Curveball outside, 3-2.
You don't have that good of an eye. You're a 132 lifetime hitter. Swing the bat.
Yeah, well,
got to hit the first part of this ball game. Just giving him a little bit of a hard time. That's a pretty good pitch from De La Rosa.
This guy's been up there now. He's seen about a dozen pitches in 2 ABs. De La Rosa exacts a little bit of revenge and strikes him out. 1, 2, 3, 4th inning for De La Rosa. We'll go to the 5th, 4-2 Milwaukee. Brought to you by Cooney Lexus, where luxury has an address. Rockies got the first run of the ball game in the top of the second. Chris Nelson bounced one through the right side. Milwaukee would get even on this two-out double by Carlos Gomez. Aramis Ramirez, who doubled, came around, and then Marco Estrada with a base hit to bring home Gomez, 2-1. Rockies would tie it in the third inning. Troy Tulowitzki, second home run in as many days. No doubter to left center field up on the concourse. And then Tulowitzki's good friend with a man aboard, Ryan Braun, opposite field jack. 4-2, Milwaukee. Our Cooney Lexus look back. Colorado will have 2, 3, and 4 in their lineup in the fifth inning. Josh Rutledge, Carlos Gonzalez, and Troy Tulowitzki. Estrada has allowed hits in every inning. In fact, he's allowed 7 of them, but he's made big pitches, and he has struck out 6.
And that's been the key, being able to get strikeout when he needed to, Drew. And then here he works into the fifth inning with 7 hits, 2 runs given up. One of those a long ball by Tulowitzki. This is the part of the lineup that has done a little bit of damage to him. With Tulowitzki's home run. Kadire with a couple of hits, Helton with a hit.
Rutledge, deep fly ball to left, and after being ahead 3-0, swung through 3 straight fastballs. That'll be an infield hit. That was smoked at third baseman Aramis Ramirez. He blocked it in self-defense, but that's the 8th Rockies hit.
Kept it from being a double.
Yeah, it kind of looked like the backhand spin around right here. Just caught it up on the heel of the glove. If he catches it in the pocket, he probably rebounds and throws him out.
Well, from the reaction he had, he thought he had caught it. He was reaching in his glove to make the transfer.
Cargo's dealt with an assortment of off-speed pitches, mostly changeups. 2 punch-outs. Rutledge takes off, and this ball's in the air to deep right center field, and this one is gone. Carlos Gonzalez ties it up. He and Troy Tulowitzki, back-to-back ball games, have both homered. All right, you got me the first couple of times. You didn't get me there.
Well, the first time up, he got a head fastball, breaking ball to strikeout. Then he went breaking ball, fastball to strikeout. And he offers up an 89-mile-an-hour fastball on a hit and run. Rutledge was off to the races, and that ball was up out over the plate. And Gonzalez drove it into right center.
They put those baseballs on majestic flights, don't they? Here's Tulo. Change up down.
Well, it's a good thing for Josh that he hit it out, because the infielders for the Brewers had deked him because he went sliding into second.
He could have picked himself up and say, hey, let me dust myself off, take my time here.
And now I could just jog.
Amazingly, the Rockies, in the 14 times both Cargo and Tulo have hit home runs in the same game, are just 8 and 6. Jenny talked about that in the pregame, or right before the start of the game, and so now it's the 15th time they've both homered in the same game. Two-one. A lot of baseball left, George. You don't have to stop at 1, do you?
No, I don't think so. I'm just watching the sequence here where he's trying to work Tulowitzki. Got one ball up. He swung through it. He's trying to go to the outside corner with the third pitch, inside corner, fourth pitch. So he's not been able to make a lot of the pitches he's wanted to make, and they've made him pay for his mistakes.
Oh, that pitch was up. Tulo is taking the former dirtbag downtown twice now. Both the products of Long Beach State. That was last year, and that's tonight. Nobody out in the Rockies half of the fifth. 2 runs on the board to tie it at 4. It's 3-2 on Tulowitzki with Kadire on deck. He goes change up here. He did.
Now change up, something soft moving away from Tulowitzki at 78. Not as a hitter, you're not anticipating them going after that. Change up, slider, it cut right at the very end. Started out fairly well up in the zone, but Tulowitzki made a commitment with his swing so early, tough to hold up.
Kadire, a couple of singles up the middle. Curveball's high. One and one.
Much like yesterday's starter, Gallardo, pitch count climbed early in the ballgame. After 5 at 94 was gone. At 95 now.
And I'll tell you what, it doesn't in a tight game just impact the bullpen, fellas. It impacts a thin bench for Ron Renneke. That's why Gallardo hit for himself in the bottom of the 5th inning, but didn't come out to pitch in the top of the 6th. Because Ron Renneke again has an extra pitcher in the bullpen because they're going to piggyback Kyle Loesch this weekend against Arizona. He's not ready to make a full start. And Kadire called out.
Well, it's not highly unusual for teams to do that, but just Marco Estrada paints again. Outside at the knees.
Here's Todd. I'll tell you something, George, because he throws so many changeups. You've heard us say before that 88, 89 mile an hour fastball looks like it's got a little more giddy up on it.
Well, plus he sails it and he cuts it at 86. Todd gets under this one. A soft fly ball into center field.
Rockies get even, though. A leadoff base hit by Josh Rutledge. On the next pitch, Carlos Gonzalez leaves the house. 4-4, middle of 5. On Root Sports, presented by McDonald's new Premium McWrap. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Drew Goodman, George Frazier, Jeff Houston, Jenny Cavnar. 4-4 game. And Aoki with fastball to handle, and he hits it on the ground to Josh Rutledge. 1 pitch, 1 out. It's our Toyota Talk inning. It's where we have an opportunity to answer some of your questions. What's your favorite part of being a Rockies announcer? Well, it's funny that this question comes in this evening. I was talking to one of our colleagues, longtime analyst on the Brewers side, Bill Schroeder, who played in the big leagues for a long time, former Brewer catcher. And we were sitting in the Brewers dugout about 2.5 hours before first pitch tonight. And we both said the same thing. How fortunate we are to get to go to a major league ballpark every night and watch a ball game.
Yeah, they buy you a pretty good ticket, you know, and you get to see it over and over again, and hopefully the fans at home enjoy what we tell and the stories you end up hearing about different players and times. But I mean, the greatest thing is this is not anything we're entitled to. It's a privilege to get to walk in this booth and do this on a nightly basis, and it is fun.
1-0 on Ricky Weeks. Braun's on deck. Here's our second question. Is Billy playing ball? Diane loves the Rockies. He's playing in Japan. Ryan's playing. Hey, Huey, do you remember, is he playing for Chiba?
I believe so.
Well, you can read in the Denver Post if you want to go back to some archives. He's been blogging a little bit there and writing some about his experiences in Japan.
Troy Rank of the Denver Post has written extensively about Billy being over there. He's playing for the Seibu Lions.
Seibu Lions.
Yeah, the Seibu Lions.
That's the same team that Kaz Matsui played for.
Yep. So not Chiba, Seibu.
Yeah, Seibu has a dome over the top. It's a little bit like Seattle, where it's a dome to cover, but it's open around, so you still feel the coolness and the dampness when you're over there. We opened up over there when I was with the Cubs and we played the Mets. We played an exhibition game in Seibu. That was fun.
That's the next question we just saw is, how tough is it for Chacin to pitch so well and not get a decision? George, that comes with the territory.
Yeah, absolutely. You know you're going to get some no decision out of 30 of these that you're going to be out there for. So it makes it a little bit tougher to do that and swallow, but you got to turn the page, prepare for the next. De La Rosa pitch count continues to climb, and the right-hander Escalona is now up.
Third walk, second time he's walked Weeks. The other walk he had was an intentional pass to Gene Segura. With Braun, 8 for 11 with a couple of home runs and 9 RBIs against De La Rosa.
Fans also want to know, do they have any good prospects to fill Todd's place if he decides to retire when he's done? And that's one of those to me. Ben Paulson kind of reinvented himself in spring training, swung the bat extremely well. You've got Riggs, who will be in Modesto this year. Kyle rolling out of Grand Junction in Double-A, going back for his really second full year in Double-A with some big-time power.
And there's a guy they have on their bench who probably will play tomorrow at first base, who hit .309 last year, in Jordan Pacheco. He doesn't profile as a typical first baseman because he's not a huge power guy, but he can hit.
And there's one other guy just to kind of throw out there if he gets it going in the right direction. He was pretty good last year, and that's Tyler Colvin.
He's down in Colorado Springs trying to get the swing together. And that was somewhat, I think, for fans who follow the Rockies closely, controversial. And Walt Weiss isn't going to let De La Rosa face Ryan Braun again. Wondering why the Rockies didn't keep Tyler Colvin on the roster after a poor spring, because he had a very fine year last year. Well, he's going to be in a platoon situation and not be able to get a lot of at-bats, and then you maybe accentuate the funk you were in the spring. Go get him some at-bats, get the swing right, where you can play every day down in Colorado Springs. That was the thought. So De La Rosa walks off after 4 1/3 in a 4-4 game. weeks aboard. Ryan Braun coming up. Edgmer Escalona will face him. Here's today's Firestone Complete Auto Care Extra Mile Index. Well, all-time innings pitched by relievers. Last year, the Rockies set the record, utilizing their pen for 657 innings. A major reason why. Combination of injuries and then the experimentation with having piggyback relievers and the 75 pitch count. So here's Braun, who hit a 2-run home run against De La Rosa his last time up, facing Escalona. There are 3 guys in that Rockies bullpen who have been penciled in, Jeff, to work more than just an inning at a time. Escalona, Volstad, and Ottavino.
And they provide that depth in different matchup scenarios for Walt Weiss and Jimmy Wright, the pitching coach.
A matchup, pitch count, what he done against the left-hander, but you know, this guy puts up numbers against everybody. I mean, 24 and 71 is what I'm looking at, not so much the average. Right-handers, he crushed the ball, Drew. Drove in a ton of runs, so he's just a good hitter.
He's just a terrific hitter. 305 average is tremendous as well. I said it yesterday, Jeff. If you're starting a team with one hitter, one position player, one offensive guy, you're gonna, in all fantasy drafts, they list him, 1 or 2, right?
He's going to be at the top of the list of everybody. I know people will say, well, what about Mike Trout? But I'm just saying, this
guy's done it longer.
Right. Trout's year was sensational. But let me see if he can repeat it, which I think he can. But you're right, Braun is a guy, though, will be at the top of a lot of people's wish list.
Here's another question. Does it help the younger pitchers having Torrealba calling games behind the plate? That's from Vinny. George?
Absolutely. Veteran guy behind the plate that knows the league a little bit. I mean, he knows what's going on, gives you that positive influence as a veteran catcher behind the plate. And Willeen will gain that confidence and trust also.
High fly ball to moderate right field. Kadire has it. Braun retired. 2 gone. And that'll bring up Aramis Ramirez. George Pacheco wore 22 last year. Handed it over to Walt Weiss. Jordan wearing 15 this year. I like that question. How dangerous will Tulo be if he stays healthy this season? Well, he's played 2 games or a game and a half, and he already has 2 jacks. You tell me.
I like his chances.
Two-0 on Ramirez. Just like a coach, a catcher has to understand how to deliver messages. Some guys you can get after, and some guys you got to put your arm around.
And most importantly is when to go deliver the message. You know, you don't let him get in trouble or get buried in an inning before you go jogging out there. You do, if you see something early, go tell him.
And in 4 pitches, He loses Ramirez. He threw him a slider on 3-0, thinking he may be firing. He probably would have been. And that pushes Weeks into scoring position. He'll bring up Lucroy. What is a platoon situation or a platoon player? Judy and Thornton. That's inside. Ball one. Well, sometimes you see this sometimes with a lefty-righty situation. You have a really good left-handed hitter who plays the outfield and a really good right-handed hitter who plays the outfield, and they'll split the games. The left, this ball's in the air to center. Dexter will get there. The left-handed hitter will play against right-handed pitching, and the right-handed hitter will play against left-handed pitching. It's the simplest example of a platoon with position players. 4-4 going to the sixth.
More offense going. Well, we want to continue to introduce you or reintroduce you to some of the Rockies coaching staff, including Jim Wright back in the spot as the pitching coach. He was in that same position in 2002, and he held part of that position last year as the co-pitching coach halfway through the season. In fact, 16 years of coaching experience within the Rockies organization. The last 4 seasons, he spent most of it in the Rockies bullpen. You know, one thing that Jim Wright really wanted to establish as the pitching coach this year was some off-season homework. He had all of his pitchers in the off-season throw at least 9 side sessions before spring training. That way, when they got to spring training, they had their full arsenal of pitches and they were ready to throw everything rather than having to work into it. It just gave him a basis and a starting point that he could really start working with all of his starters. Again, this team under Walt Weiss has created these absolutes, and for Jim Wright, one of those absolutes in pitching is more ground balls, keeping the ball down so that that is more effective. And of course, that's what all these pitchers continue to work on. I know he has some specific things for Jorge De La Rosa as well, and we'll see how they come out of that after his start today. Guys?
All right, Jenny, thanks very much. Brandon Kinsler on the hill. He worked the fastball 90 to 95. He's got a pretty good arm.
A great arm. We saw that coming out of their whole bullpen yesterday. Had a very special arm. Nelly tonight 2 for 2, a couple of singles and an RBI. Kinsler's first trip to the big leagues back in 2010 in a September call-up. 7 games, struggled. The next year came back and appeared in 9 ball games. Last year 14 ball games, but an exceptional arm.
Torrealba on deck. Last year, Chris Nelson hit .330 against breaking balls, and no shock that the guy who was #1 in all of baseball, Matt Holliday, I mean, we've said for years, that's strike 3. We've said for years, guys get ahead of Holliday and they throw sliders.
They overthrow it and they hang it.
And he punishes them.
Last night, Ian Kennedy, same thing, worked ahead, and then he threw in the slider, double, drove in a run. The rest of the night, it was everything away and hard.
Marco Estrada went 5 innings. He allowed 4 runs on 9 hits. He didn't walk anybody. He struck out 8. Strike out there, the 9th punch out of the night for the Rockies. Torrealba swings over the top, that looked like, of a slider. 0 for 2 tonight. Well, thanks for texting in your questions this evening to Toyota Talk. For more answers to your questions, visit the Root Sports Facebook page at facebook.com/RootSportsRM, where Hall of Famer Tracy Ringlesby will answer a bonus Toyota Talk question before the end of the game. Back-to-back punch outs, and with 2 outs, Escalona will hit here in the 6th inning.
Reed Breniak had a bat and helmet and batting gloves on if there was a guy that got on in front of him, but with 2 outs, let the pitcher hit.
Here's the 0-2, and Escalona gone. Kinsler strikes out the side. 4-4, middle of 6 at Miller Park. By the Ford Focus, it's 40 miles per gallon of pure fun. Start more than a car. Ford Focus, go further. By Wells Fargo customers get your 2-for-1 Rockies club level tickets today by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Wells Fargo Bank, member FDIC. By Honey Smoked Fish Company, secrets in the fire, it's a ready-to-eat superfood. And by Southwest Airlines, find our fares online only at southwest.com. 6, 7, and 8 for the Brew Crew here in the 6th inning. Alex Gonzalez, Carlos Gomez, Gene Segura, and Escalona in his 2nd inning of work in a 4-4 ball game. Rockies took a 1-0 lead in the 2nd on a base hit by Nelson. Brewers took a 2-1 lead. Rockies caught him on a Tulowitzki home run. Brewers went ahead 4-2 on a Braun 2-run home run. And then Carlos Gonzalez, a 2-run home run of his own in the 5th inning to tie it. And Torrealba has to get rid of one catcher's glove and go to his backup. Rosario saying, hey, try mine. You like it. All right, whatever. Let's go. That worked. You gotta love your V. He doesn't get rattled by much.
Now,
most of the times you have a catcher's bag right in the hallway there, but the hallway's the locker room here. Drew talked about the closeness that it has and the proximity going in and out of that dugout door. I'm sure Joe Diaz or Keith Schultz was scrambling into the locker room to get a glove.
And then Keith
that's
Duggar
exactly what
right?
that's what I'm looking at in the dugout right now. Is Keith has the glove and he'll be tightening it up and replacing the leather on it. Because all good trainers, they're also glove doctors.
Got to do something to occupy your time in the minor leagues.
And in the case of Doogie, not only is he a glove doctor, he collects gloves. In fact, he had a special one today. I was talking to him about. He catches for one of the coaches when they're hitting fungos, and he has a red, white, blue Troy Tulowitzki 11.5-inch Rawlings glove.
Gold glove edition.
It's a gold glove edition, and it was made by Rawlings for Tulo for the World Baseball Classic. They made him a couple. So Tulo kept one, and he gave the other one to Doogie. It's a 2-1. And that's low. 3-1 on Alex Gonzalez. There's pepper in the bottom of that strike zone, but only one of those 4 have been called to strike by Larry Vanover. Gonzalez, a ground ball to third and a fly ball to right. And this one is down the line in a difficult area. Nice catch by Michael Kadire. Huey, that was not easy. He had a railing coming up.
Yeah, there's not much room from foul territory over to the stands, and you're running as far as Michael Kadire had to run from this baseball. Knowing the wall's closing in, you reach out, you have fans reaching over the railing, but the reaction of Gonzalez is one of disgust, but there was jubilation on the hill from Escalona.
Carlos Gomez, and that was caught by Nelson. Wow, that fool, you know who found that fool? Wally Bell at first. Wally said fair ball, and then he looked, he said, hey, he caught that. Great play by Nelly. He's made 2 sparkling plays here in the first couple of ball games, George.
Hot corner reaction time, and you get to react to this, and he's even with the glass and then starts to move back after being even with the bag, I should say. And able to catch that. Good thing he does. That ball's in the corner.
And that ball was hooking away from him, too.
And maybe it didn't fool Wally. Just took a moment getting the arm up. Good play, man, by Nelly. Look at this. We got something brewing in Houston, fellas. Yu Darvish, perfect now through 7 against the Astros, along with 12 punch-outs.
Wow. Picking on those youngsters in Houston.
You can hear the cynics already. Well, does that count as a big league perfect game if he does it? Not right.
Oh, that was a little harsh.
I didn't say it. I'm saying the cynics will say it. Just passing along the chatter on the internet.
Only thing that might get him, he has 93 pitches through 7. First game out. That's a tough call for a manager.
recently. By the way, it takes a while to restring a glove. Recently, Johan Santana was asked about, what was it, 138 pitches for his no-hitter? Yeah. I think it was 130 plus. I think it was 138 for his no-hitter, the first and only no-hitter in the history of the Mets. And he was asked, because he hasn't pitched effectively since then, and now he's had second shoulder surgery the other day. And he said, I would give that up, for anything. He could do it again.
Yeah, but different points in their career.
Yeah, he's 3-7 with an 8.27 ERA since then. That from Doug Marino. Here's the 3-2, fouled off. I'm with you, George. It's just great to open up the paper and the computer screen now and see a ton of ball games going on and who's doing what.
To me, it's not any more rumor mill. It's all factual. It's fun to read.
It all counts too. This is a base hit for Segura to right. Oh, they almost backpicked him, and now Segura is going to move into scoring position.
Yeah, good thought process, really by Kadire. Yeah, the ball rolled down in the dugout. Two-base mistake there.
It's the Rockies' first error.
Trying to look at his throw, watch the throw come in from Kadire. He kind of relaxed, and when he saw it get too big of a wind, the one hop looked and appeared to catch the back of the helmet of Segura. When it did, it rolled into the dugout down the steps before Helton could get to the baseball. So yeah, ricocheted shoulder, helmet. Todd had his glove in the right position to go get the baseball and make the tag. Just unfortunately, just kind of one hopped away from him as it got right out in front of the back.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good throw. It just unfortunately hit Estrada's helmet. Chris Davis made his major league debut yesterday and hit a hard shot at Chris Nelson. He's going to pinch hit for Kinsler. Jim Wright went out. Sure gave a scouting report to Escalona on Davis, what the Rockies have, what he did in March, and what he did in the minor leagues. 4-4 game, 2 outs in the 6th inning. Something to keep in mind, Ron Renicki's bench has just 3 players left on it. One's your backup catcher in Maldonado. Other than that, you have Eski Betancourt, one left-handed bat, Logan Schaefer, in a game that's tied. Good job by Torrealba, and that's a great example of not only a block by a catcher with a runner at third base, but look where the ball ends up after he blocks it. Watch him bury his chest on it, block the 5-hole, and the ball's right there.
It drops in front of you, not away like a ricochet. Big difference. Elevated fastball, everything's been down, throw it by him up. It went down.
Yeah.
Now if you have confidence, you can go back to the hard slider.
What a luxury, George. You had a good slider. What a luxury knowing with a runner on third base, I can throw that thing, bury it in the dirt, and I know my catcher's going to block it.
Great feeling to have that. So much confidence given to you for that. But you know what? I'd go fastball, see if it works, go away with it, and go hard. I mean, it all of a sudden bumped up 95.
Yeah, he did. 95. Escalona pounds the mound. He strikes out Chris Davis with Segura at third. We move to the 7th, tied at 4. out, hit Milwaukee 9-6. When people ask, what does Torrealba bring to a club, and what does he bring specifically to the Rockies? He brings an edge to him and a character to him that the Rockies, I think, have been missing. Watch his reaction. You know what? It's the bottom of the 6th inning. It's game 2 of the season. But you know what? He's pumped up.
A little fired up. He made a pitch. He elevated the fastball. He got to buy a hitter with a runner on third and tie ball game. That gives a little confidence to your pitcher, too. He's a little disappointed right now because he hadn't come up with a base hit yet in his first ball game behind the plate.
Mike Gonzalez, former late inning guy with Pittsburgh and Atlanta, is one of a couple of lefties down in the bullpen for Milwaukee, and he'll have the top of the order for the Rockies. Dex from the right side for the first time in this young season.
And I really felt like in the 06 season when Gonzalez had 24 saves for Pittsburgh that he was going to be one of the premier closers. Since that time, more of a situational one-inning left-hander, but a very good one.
And George, for me, a little unusual. He pitches off the extreme third base side of the rubber.
Now watch what he does, though, when he strides to the plate. He really hides the ball extremely well and allows him to come inside. Plus, it allows him to put a big run and sink and pronate to the inside of it. Belisle for the Rockies warming up. Badenhop, the right-hander for the Brewers.
It's a good eye by Dex, Jeff. That was kind of a tantalizing breaking ball. He stayed off it, and it's 3-1. It's
a disappearing one where when you think you're going to swing and hit it, disappears and you miss it.
Ball 4. So Dexter Fowler, a leadoff walk against Mike Gonzalez, and that'll bring up Josh Rutledge.
Coors Field suites and party facilities fit any event and budget. For the best deal, ask about the 6-game or 20-game suite package today. 303 Rockies. Call now because space is limited.
Let's see if the Rockies at some point in this AB work a hit and run. Rutledge a base hit his last time up, and he lays down a bunt, pretty good one, and they're not going to get him. That's the great speed of Josh Rutledge, something we saw the first month he came up, and then of course he played through a quad injury but couldn't run nearly as well. He ran a 6.38 60 a while back when he first signed.
Part of this, I think LaCroix thought Gonzalez was going to come out and get to the baseball. As he charged in at it, then he backed away from it. But there's that great sprinter stride and running form you love to see a guy have.
And that bunt really died in the dirt out in front of home plate. So many times it's packed a little harder, and those balls will just jump off there and get out to the pitcher quicker. That one died.
So here's Cargo, a 2-run jack his last time up. Shattered bat, slow roller, and everybody's safe because Alex Gonzalez was trying to avoid the flying barrel that was coming at his body. So the Rockies get a huge break there. And the bases are loaded for Tulowitzki. You have to score at a base hit. Nobody out.
Blown up bat on a slider. Right off the very end of the bat. I mean, Gonzalez put way too much out on the bat. That was quite a bit above his head versus watching the baseball.
Well, Gonzalez didn't even break to first. So even if he catches it, Carlos beats him to the bat.
Hold on, there are too many Gonzalez's involved here.
Yeah, Mike Gonzalez.
You got Mike Gonzalez
Mike
didn't
Gonzalez.
break to the bag. Alex Gonzalez was avoiding the bat, and Carlos Gonzalez was sprinting to first.
And Badenhop's going to get to try to clean it all up.
There's Speedy Gonzalez, 4-4.
Root Sports.
Well, the Rockies have the bases loaded here in a 4-4 game at the top of the 7th. Tulowitzki coming up, and a guy the Rockies saw last night is now on the hill, Burke Badenhop. He threw a scoreless inning with a couple of punch-outs yesterday.
All right, those are a lot of strikes. Doesn't walk very many people. 12 and 67 plus innings a year ago. Excuse me. Yeah, 62 in the third innings. Just 12 walks. He gave up 6 home runs. The ball typically on the ground. 1.3 ground ball to fly ball ratio in his career. Last year, 9 double plays turned. Middle of the infield in the 6th inning, or I should say top of the 7th. We'll be back to corners tight for a play at the plate.
Way outside, ball 1 on Tulo. Troy, a fly ball to center field, pretty well hit his first time up, and then a bomb to left center field, his second in the first 2 ball games of the season, and he struck out on a 3-2 changeup against Marco Estrada in the 5th. Career .378 with the bases loaded. That's in there, 1-1. He has 2 career slams, if you're wondering. At third base, Dexter Fowler, a leadoff walk. Josh Rutledge, a bunt singles at second. And Carlos Gonzalez, an infield hit, is at first. The Rockies have had the leadoff man on in 5 of 7 innings. 2 have scored. They've out-hit the Brewers 11-6. Good block by Lucroy. You have great speed on base. We were kidding Huey earlier about when Helt and Torrealba were occupying third and first respectively
now
in the game, and this
is more of a track team.
Yeah, this is more the guys you want on base.
Well, and I'm just looking at the shortstop and second baseman. I know you said the corners were in, but I had to look at those guys and how they had to shorten up and get closer to the bag because of that, and then that makes bigger holes for Troy to hit through.
2-1. Good swing, 2-2. You gotta love being a reliever, Frage. We're gonna make a change here. Hey, go get him. Bases loaded, nobody out. You got it. Here's
well, they normally say relievers aren't normal people, so they don't realize a lot of things in their surroundings.
I would never say that about you, though.
Yes, you have, and I fully agree.
On a daily basis. 2-2. Kadyr's on deck. Pretty good slider, and Troy did a good job to get a piece of it. Away.
Again, you get a guy in this situation, watch his front side will pull off the ball, and you generate a lot of bat speed. Stands about medium width, the distance, I should say, from the home plate area.
And Troy gets it in the air to fairly deep center field. Dexter will tag. And Rutledge tagging. Everybody moves up 90 feet except the runner at first, Gonzalez. 5-4 Colorado. Outstanding at bat for Tulowitzki. Troy with his second RBI of the ball game and his 4th on the season. Now you have a running situation, Huey. 1st and 3rd. Cargo, who swiped 20 bags last year. And Kadire at the plate.
Well, and Kadire's not afraid to take a pitch, but he's also has the experience that he can see the infielders moving and then shoot a hole wherever, depending on if it's a shortstop or the second baseman. Good piece of running by Rutledge as well to tag up and come to 3rd.
Absolutely. This is slowly hit. This is going to be a problem. And Ramirez didn't have a play. Kadire with a 45-foot RBI single, make it 6-4 Colorado. The Rockies have 3 hits in this inning that haven't traveled a combined 100 feet.
3rd hit for Kadire, too. The other a little more traditional. Big swing, top the baseball, right out in front of Ramirez. No play there. Rutledge was running right alongside him and out of play at the plate. Good for the Rockies. 12 hits on the game for the Rockies again tonight. They're 6-4 lead.
Helton faced Badenhop yesterday and struck out against him. Todd had a base hit in the 2nd. He's fouled out. Also hit a fly ball to center field, 1 for 3. And that's going to be a base hit. Good read by Cargo. He'll come around 3rd. He'll score easily. 7-4 on the RBI base hit from Todd Helton. And for the first time in 2013, we've got tacos. Make your way to your participating Colorado Taco Bell locations tomorrow between 4 and 6 to receive your taco special. Rick Kranitz is going to run out to the mound. 7-4 Colorado. 1st and 2nd for Chris Nelson, who has a couple of hits in the ball game.
Fastball tailing, but a little more elevated. Todd not trying to do a lot with it, just trying to hit the ball back up the middle as he has in the last couple of days. Helton coming up with his 2nd base hit, 1st RBI of the 2013 season, scoring Gonzalez.
1,346 ribbies now for number 17, 85th on the all-time list. Still just 1 out on the sac fly by Tulowitzki. Chris Nelson. We'll close the book on Mike Gonzalez if you keep the book with us at home. Not pretty for Mike. He faced 3 hitters. He walked 1 and allowed 2 hits, and all 3 scored. Badenhop a little frustrated. He's fallen behind Nelson 2-0. There's Matt Belisle.
Darvish now through 8 innings, threw 107 pitches, 14 strikeouts.
Perfect.
So far, so good.
That's a pretty good line right there. Zip, zip, zip. 14. And Nelly fouls it off. Stu Colt, nice stab, Stu.
A former infielder.
Not a baby. Product of UNC Charlotte. You thought it was just a basketball school, didn't you? Stu played a long time in the minor leagues. 5th round pick out of UNC Charlotte. Rockies organization for quite a while as a skipper. First year on the big league staff. 2-2. And Badenhop to Weeks on the first double play. The Rockies get 3 in the inning to break up the tie. 7-4. They lead, middle of 7. For McDonald's, I'm loving it. Highlights of the ball game. In the 3rd inning, Troy Tulowitzki with a home run, his 2nd of the year. Ryan Braun in a 2-2 game would lead the yard to right field to make it 4-2. Carlos Gonzalez, a 2-run home run of his own. He tied it at 4. And then just a couple of moments ago, the Rockies would take a 3-run lead. First run on a sac fly by Tulowitzki, and then a 45-foot single off the bat of Kadire, and then Todd Helton placed one to center field to bring home cargo. That's brought to you by McDonald's new Premium McWrap. I'm loving it. Reed Brignac came over from Tampa Bay in the offseason. He's in for Chris Nelson at 3rd. And Matt Belisle's now on the hill. So a double switch. Brignac will hit 2nd next inning. Matt Belisle 80 appearances along with Sean Camp last year. Where's that? Looked like he painted against Nori Aoki. Guess not. Ford strike zone said it was outside. Good call, Larry Vanover. Here's the 2-1. Went back same area, just outside again. Good work by Escalona, George.
Yep, inning at 2/3, walked the batter, but got a base hit. Had a big strikeout to end it all there at the very end. So yeah, good job, Escalona. It's part of the bullpen you're trying to pick up. The Rockies can hold on to this 3-run lead. He would stand to get the win in the ball game.
Base hit. Well, if you'd like to receive text message alerts when the Rockies score 7 or more, text TACO, the word TACO, to 720-720. Ricky Weeks, a walk, a single, and a walk. And that's in there. Ground ball to Tulo. Should be two. He'll do it himself.
Thank you very much.
You like those, don't you?
Yes.
The numbers, too, against Belial. You know, these guys that were coming up, weeks 421. Braun, 4 for 10. And there's some guys with some decent gaudy numbers, so that double play helps the confidence of Matt Belial to go ahead and work through this inning. Made a pitch to get a ground ball double play.
This is where you want to see Braun, nobody on, and he went after that 0-1. Good spot. Just a little bit low, 1-1.
And the Ford strike zone seems to think it was a pretty good pitch.
That's a great spot. 1-2.
Good hitters come to the plate. Pitchers seem to grab a little extra. Matty was 88 to 90. First batter faced. Now all of a sudden 92 in paint. Oh, pretty good pitch there.
Walt Weiss looking for his first managerial victory.
One of many. You know, it's going to be one of those deals where he gets a lot of W's with this offense. I'll tell you what, it's going to throw some runs on the board and hurt.
Boy, good pitching by Matt Belial. Matt Belial gives up a hit to Oki, gets a double play ground ball, and then strikes out Ryan Braun. We go to the 8th, 7-4.
We head to the top of the 8th. It's time to get you caught up on the rest of the West. Right now, the Diamondbacks and Dodgers are tied for first place in the NL West. Of course, they've each only played one game so far, and it was the Dodgers yesterday making headlines with their 4-0 win over San Francisco. And you would think with their $225 million payroll, they'd let the guy paying the bills throw out the honorary first pitch. Well, that's what Magic Johnson was set to do. But Don Mattingly, he had other ideas. He comes in and he calls for the lefty. Well, which lefty? The lefty. We're talking Sandy Koufax, the Hall of Famer who played for the Brooklyn Dodgers and the Los Angeles Dodgers his entire career. The 77-year-old got to toss out the first pitch for the Giants and Dodgers game in LA. Hey, it wasn't a strike, but he's 77 years old. It's pretty cool. And then, of course, it was the lefty Clayton Kershaw. He wasn't too shabby following that opening act. It was definitely a fun day in LA. A star-studded cast indeed, Drew and George.
You know what? That was a great moment. It's kind of a goosebump moment. And I just noticed, you know, I saw the video yesterday. I noticed that Magic's wearing 13. Of course, you can't wear 32 if you're a Dodger. There's only one 32.
Well, you know who caught the baseball? Oral Hershiser was behind the plate.
Yeah.
Two pretty good Dodger legends in pitching, catching each other, playing catch.
I should have brought back our friend Jeff Torborg. Caught perfect game from Sandy Koufax back in the 60s. Tom Gorzolani's on the hill, and he misses down low. It's 1-1 on Yorvi Torrealba. Reed Brignac is on deck, then Dexter Fowler.
A year ago, pretty good year. 45 ball games, 4-2. Very good earned run average of 2.88.
One and two on number 8, Torrealba. Yorvi had a huge spring. He was 10 for 21 in the spring. He actually cooled off to hit below 500. He was getting close to 600 for part of the spring. Made the club as the backup over Ramon Hernandez. Boy, that was nasty. No swing. Hey, New Mexico fans, are you the Root Sports Ultimate Fan? Show us why you're the Ultimate Fan by taking a picture through Instagram and tagging it with a hashtag RootFanNM hashtag. For official rules, visit facebook.com/RootSportsRM. And now it's 3-2. Huey held up on that dirty slider, and now he's got the count in his favor.
It takes strong risks to do that. Make sure the barrel doesn't cross the plate.
Ball 4. Good AB. And again, the Rockies have the leadoff man on. In this ball game, the only innings they haven't had the leadoff man on, the 3rd inning, Rutledge struck out, and Nelson in the 6th inning struck out. Every other inning, 6 of 8, the Rockies have gotten the leadoff man on. Here's the first Colorado Rockies at bat for Reed Brignac. He got the bat out of the way, and Torrealba sprints to second base. That's a wild pitch.
Really wild. When the catcher does a 360 to catch it, it misses the umpire and everybody else. It's got to be a wild pitch.
One out in the 9th inning in Houston. Yu Darvish still perfect. There's been one ball, by the way, hit out of the infield against him, and he has struck out 14. And Brignac, that's a great bunt. And it's not handled by Ramirez. Brignac safe, 1st and 3rd, nobody out.
Gorzolani kicked that with his foot out of his hand. I mean, it was very close. They both went at it. And maybe that, if he didn't hit it, he sure had something to do with Ramirez fielding it cleanly. Because he cut right in between him and the baseball. See right there as he went over the top of it.
I think he just lost the side of the ball for a moment when he crossed in front of him.
You got to score that a hit. Here's Dexter for the 5th time. Talking about how good this offense can be before the ball game. And Dexter said, man, I couldn't believe I got up 5 times in the game. He said, I had to remember, couldn't remember the last time. You get 5 ABs that early on in a road game. And he's got his 5th here. Yu Darvish, 2 outs in the 9th inning. Perfect game. Gives up a base hit up the middle. This ball kicks away for a moment, and that will allow Brignac to move to second. It's 2 wild pitches.
Yeah. And the catcher's so concerned with the base runner at third in Torrealba that it's a easy read for the runner at first.
Infield comes in.
Well, last night their bullpen was very good. Tonight, not so good. And it's been the 2 lefties, Gonzalez and Gorzlani, that has not been well.
Darvish goes 8 2/3 perfect. Gives up a base hit. Dexter bounces it to Ricky Weeks. No advancement by Torrealba. 1 out. Josh Rutledge coming up. What's next is brought to you by CenturyLink. Tomorrow, Juan Nicasio against Willie Peralta. That'll be the matchup tomorrow. We're on the air with pregame show at 5:30 here on Root Sports. Rutledge 2 for 4, has scored a couple of runs. Gonzalez, who's been around a little bit, is the Houston Astro who broke up the perfect game with 2 outs in the 9th of Yu Darvish. Here's the 1-1, and Rutledge hits it in the air to deep right center field, and it is tracked down by Aoki. Coming home with the Rockies' 8th run is Torrealba. So Rutledge with his first ribby of 2013. 8-4 Colorado.
Really good at bat for him. Try the ball, drive the ball to the right side, get things elevated. Couple of wild pitches, advancement, misplay of the ball at third base, taking advantage of the opposition's mistakes.
Cargo a 2-run home run to tie the game at 4 back in the 5th inning. Rockies have doubled up Milwaukee tonight in hits, 14-7. Another thing you really got to like, Huey, is they've scored in 5 different innings.
Well, and they've done it the little way and the big way with the home runs, but also moving guys over, infield singles. Not just one method.
8-4, middle of 8. Single runs in the second and the third, and last inning the eighth. Multiple runs in the fifth and the seventh. And Matt Belisle still out there. After a scoreless seventh inning, he'll face Aramis Ramirez here in the eighth, Jonathan Lucroy, and Alex Gonzalez. Fastball down, ball one. Pick up by Tulowitzki.
Another indication, long inning. He set the last couple, and it was even with one at bat there. Everything pretty healthy for Tulowitzki. He charged that ball well earlier, the double play unassisted. Good to have that defense behind you for Matt Belisle.
And I think it'll be an ongoing process to get to a point where you say I'm 100% comfortable, but looking more and more like the guy we've watched for a half dozen years. That's a strike on Lucroy. Have auto glass damage? Call Safelite Auto Glass, America's vehicle glass experts. 303-287-5000, online at safelite.com. Lucroy's 0 for 3. Strikeout, ground out, fly out.
This type of ball game, when your club battles to get back, you want your bullpen firing strikes. You don't want what's happened to Milwaukee, which has been a lot of walks. Brignac throw high and in the seats. And that's going to ricochet for a while. They'll take advantage with a runner at second on the error at third. Second error of the ball game for the Rockies. This is a Christmas type hop right to him where he laid back on it. He got under it and it just airmailed. There wasn't a whole lot Todd could do to even try to get to this baseball.
It's like a pitcher. His momentum started to go to first before he had the transfer coming out of the glove, and his arm never caught up.
Alex Gonzalez. Rockies last year led all of baseball with 122 errors, but shortstop was only involved for 47 games. And this is lined toward right center. What a catch by Kadire. And the throw to second. Got him. Double play. Second straight ball game. Michael Kadire has flashed weather. What a marvelous play out there in right field. Michael Kadire with a beautiful play. And he'll at second this inning. It'll be Tulowitzki, Kadire, and Helt.
What a great catch. Timing. It's all about timing, believing you can make that catch. And then the snap throw in and the extension by Tulowitzki to shorten the distance of a very fine, hard throw by Kadire, and high fives everywhere. That's a player that likes to win, folks. That's all he ever did in a Minnesota uniform. He came here to do the same thing.
You know, he was asked, Walt Weiss was asked a question about Michael Kadire. You know, what kind of player is he? What kind of person is Kadire? And Walt kind of chuckled. He said he's the perfect player. He's a great person. He's a great teammate. He plays all out at all times. He's had great success offensively in his career. There's nothing not to like. Chris Narveson, guy that's going to get some starts here for the Milwaukee Brewers, is going to get a little work here in the 9th inning. Former Rocky, he was traded. He's going to be forever an answer to a trivia question. He was in the Cardinals organization, you may recall, when the Rockies traded Larry Walker to St. Louis. He was part of that Walker deal. Came back to Colorado and has since moved. Tulowitzki 1 for 3 and a sac fly. The one was a home run to left center.
Well, all fans, opening day, April the 5th, will receive a King Soopers 2013 Rockies magnet schedule. Get to the ballpark early as we honor the 1993 team. It's against San Diego on Friday.
Milwaukee hoping to compete with Cincinnati Reds, St. Louis Cardinals in the National League Central. Pirates feel like they've improved. They've flirted with 500 the last couple of years under Clint Hurdle.
If they can play and pitch the way they did the last 43 games of the season last year, they're going to be fine. They were 30-13.
One and two on Tulowitzki. Fly ball, Carlos Gomez. The 1-1. Wilton Lopez, who struggled in the 8th inning yesterday, looks like he's going to throw the 9th. foul. Stay connected this season as George Frazier does by following Root Sports on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We want to hear from you as the Rockies kick off the 2013 season. Get online and tell us your favorite part of opening day. Frazier, how many times did you Instagram today?
3,431.
See, those guys know how to Instagram.
I'm glad they do.
A little different generation. On the ground to second, Ricky Weeks. 2 outs in the top of the 9th inning. Todd Helton will get the swing it. Chris Nelson, Josh Rutledge.
Follow the Rockies on your phone or iPad with the MLB.com at Bat 13, featuring pitch tracking, stats, highlights, and a whole lot more.
George, you can get that for your iPad this year since you have an iPad now.
I already got it.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how I got it, but I got it.
I'm just glad you got an iPad.
Yeah, it's exciting.
He showed up with the iPad, and he's like, wait a second. What doesn't fit?
I didn't know you couldn't find out all. I didn't know how you found all this stuff out all the time. Boy, what a catch by Braun, right over the wall.
Yeah, Braun made the catch. That's it for the Rockies in the 9th inning. They're looking for 3 more outs. They lead 8-4 in Milwaukee. Is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. And by McDonald's. Try McDonald's new premium McWrap, a fusion of crispy or grilled chicken and fresh veggies. I'm loving it. Inside Miller Park, the Rockies have an 8-4 advantage, looking for 3 more outs. And then we'll have a post-game show led by Joel Klatt. Joel, what's happening?
That's right, not a whole lot. Hey, just looking for a nice W. It'll be the first one of the season if they can hold on tonight. So the Toyota post-game show will focus on 2 for 2. Cargo and Tulo, both with 2 home runs on this short season, plus 7th heaven. We'll talk about that 3-run 7th inning and get you into the clubhouse on the Toyota post-game show.
By the way, do you know how to Instagram?
I'm not on Instagram yet, but George is, which is nice.
No, I am not.
No?
No, not yet.
No, Frazier's going to teach you later, Joel.
I would love that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, George. You're like a mentor to me.
No, I don't think so. Don't worry, it's not coming soon.
Yeah. He still has a rotary phone at home. Wilton Lopez, the 0-1 to Carlos Gomez, which a little flare to Rutledge, 1 out.
For Lopez to come back after yesterday, it will do him good. New uniform, new results. Yesterday, a bad day, gives up 3 runs, 2 slow rollers, and smoked ball down the left field line. You see those numbers from a year ago in Houston. Never walks people. 8 and 66 in the third inning. 1 out here in the bottom of the ninth.
This is Gene Segura.
Yesterday's velocity never peaked at 93. That pitched 93 here in the stadium.
Native of Nicaragua. And this one is on the ground. Tough play for Rutledge. That had a lot of spin on it, Jeff, and he ended up overrunning it.
Yeah, I was just watching his path to the ball, and he had cut back in the right angle that you want to, and that just had some wicked English on it.
It hit and jumped about 4 feet to the left.
Yeah, that thing bounced and took a left turn. Logan Schaefer, we saw him yesterday. He'll pinch hit in the 9 spot. Lopez's line in yesterday's game, not pretty. But George, you described it. Other than the Ramirez hit, there were 2 infield hits. There were 3 ground balls. That's what he does. He gets ground balls. He was just, one was kind of a squibber up the third base line, and the one by Braun was just slightly deep in the hole.
1 inning, 4 hits, 3 runs. Walt Weiss with the left-right combination warming up down in the bullpen. Left-handed hit for the hitter, Schaefer off the bench.
And Aoki on deck.
They're going straight down and grab Rex Brothers. They're going to try to finish this thing up.
Opening day festivities. We'll have the baseball here looking for 2 outs. So Logan Schaefer, who was announced, will not hit. He's done. And it'll be Tulowitzki Betcourt, veteran shortstop. He's now kind of a super utility player. In fact, he's the backup at first base behind Alex Gonzalez. Now, former Seattle Mariner, Kansas City Royal. 1 out, Segura at first. And Brothers misses down low, ball 1. Juan Nicasio, Willie Peralta, the right-handers tomorrow in the series finale. Rockies will have Thursday off and then opening day in Denver on Friday against the Padres. The game is already sold out. You know, they sell out quickly on opening day. And the weather's supposed to be perfect. Temperature in the low 70s.
All weekend it sounds at least in the 60s on Saturday and Sunday.
A little warmer than it is indoors here, huh?
Yes. Speaking from experience.
Well, that means Sunday we could go golf shirts, flip-flops, and shorts.
Yeah. Just in case, the Rockies, Rafael Betancourt.
Might not surprise me to see him come in if they so need. Gets a little farther into this game just for the purpose of getting him an inning. And if after you get through, somebody happens to get on with one out. Don't hope for that to happen.
I personally hope not. You need two outs.
But I'm saying if he does, it wouldn't be a strange thing to see him come in to face a right-hander.
Well, Weiss would rather not. I'm sure use 3 pitchers to get the 3 outs. Up by 4 runs. Well hit center field, but Dexter has a beat on it. 2 outs.
That ball a little farther than I thought it was going to travel.
I agree, partner. I don't think he hit it as well as he did. Norioki with 2 gone. He's 1 for 4 tonight. I know the Rockies have made 2 errors this evening. They did not make an error yesterday. A bad break on Michael Kadire on a throw that was right on line to Todd Helton actually hit Ricky Weeks in the helmet and kicked away, allowing him to move up. And then the overthrow from Reed Brignac.
But the key, Drew, is after that, what happened? You get the strikeout to end the inning, and then you get the dive from Kadire, the throw out at second base for the double play. So the errors, the teammates picked them up.
Right, and that's what I was going to mention, because the Rockies have made not only the everyday plays defensively, they've made some outstanding plays, particularly in the outfield. Carlos Gonzalez has 2 tremendous running catches. Remember, he robbed Aoki back in the bottom of the first inning of a double or a triple. And you mentioned Kadire's diving catch. This is a base hit to right. And then the catch Kadire had yesterday. Chris Nelson with a couple of outstanding plays tonight. Ricky Weeks. Well, if you're going to bring on Betancourt, you figure it would happen here.
Jimmy Wright's on the phone. They're just waiting to see what's up. He just told Wall he's ready.
Well, it's a safe situation now because the tying runs in the on-deck circle. And here comes Walter. Two on, 2 outs in the Authority of the Colorado Rockies, it may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Colorado Rockies. First appearance this year for Rafael Betancourt, and again it is a save situation because the tying run is in the on-deck circle. He's trying to get Ricky Weeks with Segura at third and Aoki at first. 60 appearances last year.
31 of 38 save opportunities. Weeks has yet to get a base hit off of him. 0 for 4 in their matchups through the career. And come on to get that first save knocked out and get out of the way. Preserve things for the Rockies.
Weeks, a walk, a single, a walk, and a ground ball to short. Actually, it was a 6-3 double play. Earlier I said it was Weeks diving back on the Kadire throw. It was actually Segura who was diving back to first and had the ball ricochet off his helmet. Oki's going to take second right after this pitch. There he goes, and that's in there for a strike. Toyota post-game show coming up as soon as we get the final out. Shattered bat. Raphael's got it. They'll flip to Helton, and the Rockies have their first victory of 2013, and Walt Weiss, getting beat up in the dugout, has his first major league managerial victory. He had a whole lot as a player. After all, he played in 4 World Series. Congratulations to Walt and the Rockies as they have defeated the Milwaukee Brewers tonight by a score of 8-4. Also, congratulations to Edgar Escalona. He got his first big league victory. Rafael Betancourt gets the save. Mike Gonzalez takes the loss. Tonight's delivery of the game is brought to you by Jimmy John's, America's favorite sandwich delivery guys. Well, the 3-4 parts of that order are going to deliver quite a bit this year. Troy Tulowitzki hit another home run tonight, his second. And not to be outdone, his partner in crime, Carlos Gonzalez, tied the game with a 2-run